follow the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Hey, Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all their reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
And welcome to the baseball preview show. I'm Keith Myers along with Heath Shanahan. He is the director and the commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association for webcasting and TV and all those good things. You look good in blue, by the way. I'm glad we matched today.
I'm glad you texted me this morning to let me know.
I just wish you would have wore your SRN shirt and not your ISSA
I'm
shirt.
waiting for one of those to hit my mailbox.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, I'll get Debbie right on that right away. But Heath is here, and we're here, the 57th Annual Baseball State Finals, and what a beautiful day. Humidity's dropped a lot. It was a lot warmer this afternoon, but, boy, the humidity is dropping, and we're ready for two good games today.
I mean, what a great day for baseball. I mean, I cannot believe it, especially with some of the up and down weather we've had as far as being really cold, or all of a sudden it's 95 degrees, or it's going to torrential downpour for 4 or 5 days in a row. So, yeah, no, you can't ask for a better day for baseball today, or even tomorrow as well, looking at the forecast ahead of time.
Semi-state weather last weekend, we were in the 50s and the 60s, and they were wearing jackets. You don't have to wear a jacket today. It's going to be really good. and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think these teams all 4 teams are going to be really balanced. The highlight, the 4A, Morrisville and Lake Central, we got to say that because your wife is in the booth, so we got to tell her, shout out to Morrisville. But the first game tonight, Bar Reeve and Lafayette Central Catholic, both teams are really, really good.
Absolutely, and rematch from last year. I mean, let's see what happens this year, but obviously Lafayette Central Catholic has just been a force for more years than I can even recall. So, but Bar Reeve, they're always competitive in every sport they play. So it's just a really exciting time for both teams, and similar records, actually identical records, yes. And they both made their way through the playoffs, and hey, now we're here.
And they made it through 465, 70, 65. 31, 37, all that construction, they made it all through. We have a guest today, and he says, I'm still in traffic. I'm 30 minutes out. He's due to be here on air in 30 minutes. We'll see if
we'll see if that happens. Well, not only did they dodge all the traffic, but they dodged all this people heading towards the swimming, the U.S. Olympics trials over at Lucas Oil Stadium, which I don't know if you've seen that. That's incredible.
It's beautiful.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What a perfect time to be in Indianapolis.
How about making a bathtub into Lucas Oil Stadium? Because that's basically what it is.
I read a really interesting article that all the water, the millions of gallons of water that they're using, is from the White River.
Yes, that's right.
That's incredible. I mean, what a way to I guess recycle or whatever we would consider it, but.
No way. Wrap things up, and we wish you lots of success for tonight's broadcast, and tomorrow we'll be back here tomorrow as well. Good luck to you. If you need anything, I know one thing. There's no babies going to come tonight.
That is very true. I wish we could have had time to tell that story, but man, yes, that was a fun one. That was a fun one. No babies tonight.
Commissioners up next on the Baseball Show.
To the game, we've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune into all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We're back with the commissioner of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Paul Neidig. And hey, what a nice day. Good job, weatherman.
You know what? Every once in a while I put a call into Mother Nature, and more often than not she just doesn't listen because I only call when I need something. But today I thought I'd try it out, and she came through for us today, and we're going to have a great weather day.
And tomorrow.
We'll turn the heat up a little bit more tomorrow.
A little bit.
But that's baseball,
you know. Bob Euchre sits behind us, and we have a front row seat. We literally have a front row seat tonight. 4 games this weekend. Your 4th year as the commissioner, if I remember correctly. It's gone fast, huh?
Oh, it has fast. We walked into this with a blur with 2020 and COVID.
Yeah.
And
lucky you.
And then that we made it through that, and then at the end of the day, we're still about promoting high school athletics and opportunities for kids to participate, but more important, for kids to grow in a nurturing, athletic-based environment. And I'm so very proud of the work that we've been able to do, and our schools and our coaches and everybody out there. Community-based athletics is still alive and well in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, the cool thing is IndianaSRN's been around a long time, as you know. The cool thing I love about the ISHA, Mike Cash is one of our guests tonight. You and Bobby Cox, and now the association has picked that up. Those kids get an opportunity at Unified Sports. Talk a little bit about Unified Sports. I know we're talking about baseball state finals, but Unified Sports has blown up.
It has, and we just left a luncheon here today with our Champions Together luncheon, the kind of the end of the year celebration, and the stories that we hear. And one I was talking to our Mr. Avery, Brian Avery, our director of Champions Together at the office. He was at the state track meet, and he's walking off the state track meet. And a young man actually won the Mental Attitude Award, and he's got a car with him, and that car is a little blue car, and it's a Matchbox car. And Brian asked him, I said, what's that? He said, that's my vroom vroom. And Brian said, "What's that mean?" He said, "That makes me run faster."
Wow.
And so that kid ends up winning with his partner the Mental Attitude Award. And so phenomenal day. And then as Mr. Avery's walking off at the end of the day, he sees this young man's mom. And she had a smile on her face, but he said, "Hey, great day." And she said, "I'm so sad." And Brian said, "Why are you so sad? Your son just Mental Attitude Award." She says, "No. This has been so important in his life that the past 4 years, we won't be able to do this again." And this meant so much to us as a family, and Mom was a school administrator, and that program made a difference in that kid's life.
Yep.
You know, and Mitch Bonar talks about sitting at the other table in the cafeteria before he was a unified athlete.
Right.
And then when he was a unified athlete and got to put the school uniform on at Noblesville,
how it changed.
He got invited to
the table.
The table.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got all kinds of things going on, and this wraps it up. And then, just less than like 7 or 8 weeks, we get ready to go to football. What do you do during? I know you have to still work, but is there time to relax, reflect, go on vacation, maybe work on your cars? What do you do to relax for a little bit?
Well, we're still winding it up. We have a meeting with our board of directors next week where we're planning about the future of the association and what next year's going to look like, and even further out than that. And so we'll have that meeting on Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and then we go to a meeting the following week with the National Federation of High Schools, where we get a little flavor of all that from the national
and
scene.
Everybody's jealous of us.
And everybody likes what we do in Indiana, that's for sure.
That's right.
But then after that, then I'll take a family vacation and then get a few days here and there, and then the staff will try to do the same thing. But we turn around and you're going to be in a broadcast booth on Friday night.
Well, in the 7 weeks from now, we'll do a football show somewhere, so you'll be here. So
we'll be here.
That will be relationship with the Indians, but not only the Indians, but the whole entire professional venues. Last week at Purdue showed very, very well. I didn't get to go to the games, but got to watch them. They showed very, very well. Beautiful facilities everywhere we go. Yeah,
I mean, we have partnerships and partnerships that understand the value of athletics in the state. Most people, it's in other places, it's what can you do for us? And that's not what we have here in Indiana. It's always about what can we do for you, because they know that these high school athletes that play in these facilities are probably going to come back and buy a ticket, be a fan someday. And so the Indians here today is just a perfect example of that. The Indianapolis Indian is an organization that really cares about youth sports and high school baseball in this state, and they open up their doors and they say, whatever you need, we're going to make it available to you this week, and come have a great experience, and that's what we're going to do.
You say the city-county, we've been doing the city-county championship game for over 10 years, and then they open it up with baseball night the next weekend, of which they have invited us to do that a couple times. It's just really kind of cool. We have a great relationship with the Indians as well, as we do a show called Down the Line. Razor Shine Day is September 15th. We get to have Razor on the show. Cannot wait. We're excited about that. But, without good people behind you and that partnership, and we consider us being a partnership with you, whatever you guys need, we would want to put the best foot forward to these athletes, because it makes us feel pretty good about that. And doing 300 games plus a year, it's a lot of fun, Paul.
Well, Keith, you know this, and you've heard me say it before. Indiana High School Athletic Association is not my association; it's our association. And broadcasters and newspaper reporters and fans alike are all part of who we are, and they help grow. They're part of who we are today, and we so appreciate you and your team and the work that you do. And it's tiresome. You guys do it so many times a year. You don't come in and want to cherry pick the best shows, or the best games. You're broadcasting games every night of the week almost, and I'm sure your wife sometimes would like you to have a little home more often than that.
In fact, she asked me to do more games. Jerry and I look at our schedule and go, can't you be gone next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, yeah.
Little League Baseball joins our airways. We're excited about being partner of you, and I've really got to kick out your email. Thank you very much. I consider it very much present, but no, I'm not going to tell you what you call me on the air, but I am Keith Myers, but you can call me Jay.
Yeah, I got you, Jay.
Thanks,
you
Commissioner.
very much.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Mike Hash joins us.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Well, it's the 57th annual Indiana High School Baseball State Championship, and it wouldn't be baseball without me bringing in a good friend of mine. We've known each other for 25-plus years. Every single time I call, if you can't take the call, you always return my call. You're always very friendly. When we started IndianaSRN, you were one of those people who say, whatever you need to do. This is Mike Cash. He is the Senior Director of Unified Champions in the schools. Unified Champions, as we talked with the commissioner, is very important with the Indiana High School Athletic Association, but I am thrilled to have you for the first time on a talk show with me.
Yeah, it's great. What an honor, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Talk a little bit about, you had a banquet today. Talk a little bit about your banquet and talk about the successful year that you guys have had.
Well, we've been fortunate. This is the 11th year that Champions Together, or Unified Champion Schools, has been here in Indiana, and that partnership with the IHSA is very critical. Today, we were at the Rich Charles and celebrated, we had about 280 teachers, admins, superintendents, and unified athletes and partners celebrating the success they've had in their school this year by earning the Champions Together banner.
Talk a little bit about your role. You've been with Special Olympics for a long, long time before the association. I know many times we spent lots of times down at Terre Haute, as you made fun of me as a basketball official, but the hospitality room was always refreshing down there. Talk a little bit about the involvement and what you've been doing, developing more and more things for your athletes.
So this is my 6th year officially with Special Olympics Indiana. And it's been a great thing for me to connect with our athletes and probably connect with the athletes that I had as an athletic director that were in the schools that are now adults within our program. So we are constantly challenging our athletes to kind of raise the bar. We're not going to give it to them on a platter, and they don't want that. They want to be challenged. They want to be able to rise to the occasion, and you'll be surprised what an athlete will do if you set that challenge in front of them.
I think you do that to anybody. If you put something in front of someone and challenge them, if they're a true workaholic or work at it, they will do that. The relationship with the Indianapolis Indians with this association, you have relationships as well with your venue. I know the bowling, we talked about IndianaSRN doing that bowling, doing probably track and field next year. Those relationships with those people, talk a little bit about how important that is.
It's very important, like our relationship with the Pacers for our basketball tournament. We go to Grand Park and host it up there at their the PAC. And then also when the Colts, we have a unified flag football tournament that the Colts put on, and it's ideal to have also the relationship with the IHSA because we're bringing 4 high schools into that, and we believe that's on October 1 this year for the 3rd annual. And the opportunity here with the Indians, they've allowed us to come in and do our state baseball tournament here, and I mean, what a great facility. I mean, I look out here, and I was talking to one of the guys coming up. This field is immaculate. And do these young athletes realize the opportunity they have?
I tell you what, Mike, I got to umpire here when it first opened. And I got to do home plate for the championship game for Babe Ruth. And I squatted down and I looked and I see the view. And it was like the first time, and the catcher says, "What was that?" And it's like, "Oh, sorry, redo. I missed it because I just the awe of that." And you got both teams warming up here. You know, some of these teams have been here 2-3 years, 2 back-to-back years, and maybe they're kind of used to that. I don't think you get ever used to seeing a ballpark like this, and the atmosphere and the people behind it is amazing.
It is, and that field is immaculate. The view, I mean, it's it's such a clean venue, and everyone is so nice. How can we help you? Where do you need to go? We're very fortunate to have the Indians here and this amazing staff here.
You know, Razor Shine Day is September 15th, and we get to do our show. I'm excited about that.
Oh.
So talk a little bit about other people that are involved with some of the things. I know Brian Avery does the high schools. Has that been as successful as you want it to be? Is there many things that can possibly grow that?
Yeah, well, you got to go back to we call the Godfather, Lee Lonzo.
Yeah,
who
my buddy.
Yeah, who was that bridge between the IHSA and Special Olympics to create this Champions Together movement. So a lot of it is, it's his foundation and the success he's built. And then, Brian has done a great job. He is in charge of the high schools, which we call the Champions Together term, and that he has grown that over the past couple of years. And as Brian and I have always said to the schools, you don't have to do all 4 components.
Right.
Just do one. Do a whole school engagement activity, maybe do a unified sport. But we have a Young Champions, which is our elementary level.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Graham, Executive Director of Grant County Special Ed Co-op, runs that. Our Champions Together in the middle for our middle schools is Tori Batson, my colleague, who does an amazing job. And now we hired on Matt Jones about a year ago for the Collegiate Champions. He's done a great job in building that program. So, we have unified athletes and partners going into college wanting to do something there. And then Chris Akers runs our inner and urban city, and that is focused on IPS and Fort Wayne public schools.
So, folks, what he's trying to tell you, a kid from 6th grade or 4th grade all the way to go up to college can be involved in this program, and we want them involved in this program because it makes you a better person.
Well, I'm going to go one earlier than that.
Okay.
Preschool.
Really?
So once you start school,
wow,
you can be part of the Unified Champion Schools program, which is part of Special Olympics. In Special Olympics world, if you want to only participate in Special Olympics, you have to be 8 years old before you can join. So we've kind of caught that 3-4-year-olds up until 8 to be involved in the school and then have that natural transition into the community also.
And I know we're working behind the scenes very hard to get that bowling and track and field done. We need some sponsorships, and if you would like to do that, I'm going to shameless plug. You can contact me at coach@IndianaSRN, and we can see if we can get that done, because I know the bowling thing last year, as you shared with me, thousands of people would love to watch it. We want to put that on the air as well. I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, Western Bowl, 80 lanes there. We bring 23 schools in, and it is jam-packed. We have at least 1,000 participants and parents, and it is a big party. And inside that big party, we have bowling competition for the state.
And how cool is that, huh?
Oh, it's a blast.
Okay, best memory of this year for you?
This year, probably, we just came out of summer games last weekend, and it probably was more of a moment. I was able to watch Shelby County Coordinator Abby Shook watching her athlete for the very first time finish in 3rd place of a 400 walk for female, and she was tearing up. And it's going to get me.
Get you.
And
that's why you do it.
I know. Me watching her watch her athlete, and then the best thing was we got to the awards, and the young lady comes out of the awards, and Abby's so excited, and Abby goes, it's her first year. She's like, "Are you so excited? Are you coming back next year?" And she thought for a moment, and she goes, "I'll think about it." Right there.
That
wraps
it up. Final question: what's your favorite thing in the concession stand?
Hopefully Diet Coke and a cookie.
You're too predictable. 2 hot dogs, French fries, Coke, whatever. We wrap things up. When we come back, our good friend Shane Ryder from the Indianapolis Indians. Come on. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you.
We'll be back after this.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter @Indiana. We encourage you to follow us on Twitter @IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now @IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Hey, we want to thank the Aspen Creek Grill for helping us tonight, along with the Morales Groups, and of course the Indianapolis Indians, who kind of like us as well, as we do a Down the Line show for the Indianapolis Indians. September 15th, we talked about that a long time, but with me now, the guy that loves Girl Scout cookies more than I do, and there's Aspen Creek Grill, might cover his face. This is Shane Ryder. Last year, this time you didn't have a baby. This year you have a baby, and she's already been at the ballpark twice, huh?
She's 2-0. The Indians are 2-0 in games that she's attended. She was actually born the day. It's an easy birth date to remember for a couple of reasons for me. I need that, too, as a dad. I know it's easy to forget.
Trust me, I know that.
4/24/24
Okay.
is a birth date. So I won't forget it just because you've got the date as a palindrome there. Mm-hmm. But also, it was the day that Paul Skeens allowed his first run in AAA. And I thought, he's human. I thought Paul Skeens is human. He had thrown a couple of scoreless outings for us, and he gave up his first run. She broke the curse for him.
Many hats you wear. Communications are one of those. Keeping us on the line, on air is the other thing. Thank you very much behind the scenes of what you've done that. But talk a little bit. They're off. The Indians are on a road trip, so it makes it pretty easy to fit this in. We have not had rain the last 4 years. This is a pretty cool venue for these high school kids.
This is a great venue. This is a chance for us at Victory Field. We've been doing it for many years, as you said. You see that it's the 57th annual IHSA Baseball State Finals, 26th time we've hosted them here at the corner of Weston, Maryland. And then, it's a summer tradition that we love being a part of.
Before that.
Busch Stadium before that. So, yeah, the Indianapolis Indians organization as a whole has hosted it north of 50 times. It's been up in West Lafayette a couple of times,
right.
But otherwise it was either Busch Stadium or now here at Victory Field in downtown Indianapolis. And, again, it goes back to the kids, the fans. It's an atmosphere that, you get some diehard Indianapolis Indians fans coming to our games 75 times over the course of a long season, but this is a chance for kids that this might be their last high school game. This might be the last sport that they play if they're graduating seniors that are not going on to play a sport collegiately. So you give them one final send-off, win or lose, and you'll have towns rally behind these kids too. I know tomorrow night with Mooresville,
oh my goodness,
they're bringing everyone out. We've got basically every suite sold here on this level and in the Elements Financial Club just to the left of us. But it's just it's a fun chance for towns to rally together. I think Mooresville's looking for their first state title other than unified flag football. So, again, it all just goes back to what we're all about, creating memories and great moments for people.
I think this is your 7th year or 8th year?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to call that 2020 season that we never had.
We didn't have that.
We had a lot of things go on here. No IHSA state finals, but
we've played
had a
golf.
number of events. Yeah, there was basically a top golf experience that we had. We had golf on the, hitting golf balls down on the field where these players are playing long toss right now.
Right.
But we had many events that year. But if you count 2020, I got here just ahead of the 2017 season. So 17, 18, 19, 20. 2024 would be my 8th season here in Indianapolis.
And we've been with you all 8 years.
You have.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We've grown up together.
Yes,
and
we
you
have.
Grow,
yes.
You can grow.
I got a little stubble coming in.
Yeah.
The days are long now.
That's 7-day growth right there, Shane. Favorite part of the weekend?
Favorite part of the weekend? Oh.
Other than this show, of course.
Yeah, other than this show. When we're home, weekends, especially in June and July, we like to think that we own those months. Mm-hmm. There's no Pacers. There's no Colts. We now have to compete with the Indiana Fever a little bit with Caitlin Clark being in town, but we really, can offer an experience unlike anyone else in the Circle City. It's affordable. You can sit on the lawn for $13. You can bring your own cooler in, and just all of the promos that we have on those weekends. We just had a 12-game or 13-game homestand, I should say. Played 13 games in a 14-day stretch. this coming weekend, we have Negro Leagues Night on Saturday, June 22nd, where we have a chance to honor and kind of just enlighten fans and those that live here in Indianapolis and the metro area about the rich history of the Negro Leagues in this city.
Indy Clowns.
Yeah, the Indianapolis Clowns and the Indianapolis ABCs. This year we'll wear Clowns jerseys and caps. We'll have fans, offer up a chance for them to bid on those jerseys and take one home. But we're welcoming a granddaughter of a former Negro Leagues player, Norman Turkey Stearns. Major League Baseball, just a couple of weeks ago, now recognizing the Negro League stats from 1920 to 48. So
about time, huh?
So yes, it's about time. And you go back to that era of baseball, and it was, unfortunately, our country was very segregated at those times, and it wasn't by fault of the players that they didn't want to play in the major leagues. They had aspirations too, and once Jackie Robinson broke that color barrier, the rest was history. You had over hundreds of players coming in
the
in the next 5 years.
Exactly right.
So lots of promos to highlight.
We talk about September 15th because we've already started some promotion with it, with Razor Shine Day. The 15th is that Sunday. It's the last home game. We're going to be doing down the line. Razor's going to be on our desk. First of all, I'm excited. He's my favorite. Number 3's been my favorite for a long time. To spend just 10 minutes with him will be a lot of fun. Talk a little bit about, is those sold out? Can you get tickets? Is that whole, because I have a feeling this ballpark all weekend will be packed.
Yes, it's Razor Shine's weekend. We used to call it Fan Appreciation Weekend. Well, who do the fans appreciate? Razor Shines. They love number 3. They loved hearing that long, drawn-out Razor Shines when he'd come up to bat at Old Busch Stadium. But a guy that, eats, sleeps, and breathes Indianapolis Indians baseball, and his name is synonymous with our organization. We've been around 122 years. Never before have we retired the number of a former player or coach. Jackie Robinson's 42 out there in left center on the wall. That's the only number, and that's universally retired across all of professional baseball. But Razor is looking forward to coming home. We had him back here in 2019 on Fan Appreciation Weekend, had him out for a couple of nights. He'd joke around and say, hey, you can have me out on a Thursday in April when it's 40, and there will be 15,000 people
Absolutely.
here. And he understands. He understands
the market value.
Yes.
Yep.
And he really became a team ambassador for the Indians, and we're grateful that he is willing to come back. It was fun to reveal to him back in February that we were going to retire as number 3. He's a man of many words, and that day he was speechless. And he'll say it himself, but he's excited to come on down the line. He's going to have a full media sweep on that Friday the 13th. Saturday the 14th is going to be the biggest night of the 3 dates. So we do have a few giveaways that are Razor themed. The Friday night giveaway, first 1,000 fans to get a baseball card set. It's got Randy Johnson, Larry Walker, Razor among those greats that have played for our organization. Then Saturday, we've got another giveaway that's a bobblehead. It's not your traditional bobblehead. You push a little button on the bottom, it's going to play that Razor Shines intro from Kurt Hunt, who's still here in Indianapolis.
Is that
the
right?
old public address announcer.
Good for him.
He came in. We recorded in this off season, and that will play when you press the button. So it takes fans back down memory lane a little bit. And then Sunday, there's a kid's shirt that we're giving away just to kind of stretch out Razor Shines as a whole.
I need a 2X.
In our store. We're selling them in our store.
So always get my buddy.
Kids 14 and under get them, but we do have them in our store as well.
Okay, great.
So we've got just a number of giveaways, but the 14th, that Saturday night, a pregame jersey retirement. That's when Razor, he'll have his speech to the crowd, and we'll have some of his former teammates or old teammates and coaches back as well, and just try and make that weekend all about number 3. We're looking forward to it.
I'm really shocked that he didn't decline on going down the line. It was nice that
he knows that's part of the game.
He knows how important that is. Thanks so much.
Hey,
I'll see you all
see
weekend long, right?
You bet.
He'll be back with us tomorrow as well.
Hey, can we make picks?
Go ahead and make your pick. Okay.
We got 1A3A tonight.
Uh-huh.
Give me Bar Reeve.
Okay.
Avenging last year's 1-0 loss. And then give me Brebeuf Jesuit. We'll get to 2A and 4A tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going with Bar Reeve isn't a private school, right?
Bar Reeve is a public school.
Okay. Give me public school, private school.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Brian Abbott joins us now. He's the director and the president, or the executive director, executive director of the Baseball Coaches Association. So how was your trip?
We'll just leave it at that. I'm here.
Okay, good. Brian's been around a long time. And how many coaches are involved in the Coaches Association?
We have about 850 members now. We've really grown probably in the last 10 years, just getting more people involved, asking them to get involved. You know how that works.
Talk about this weekend. What is your duties this weekend? I know you love watching baseball. Is it just watching baseball, or is it talking about the All-Star games that are coming up in Huntington this next weekend, or what is your duties?
Well, I'll be here. We put a coach in each dugout, one of our council members or a coach, just to help the IHSA line people up after the game, keep order, supervise those types of things. So I may wind up down there if one of them doesn't come, but I think we got a good crew with that. I'll go around and talk to coaches, get them something to eat at the concession stand. We used to do a social hour here that we don't do it anymore because of the 2-day format. So some of those older guys still like to have something to eat when they come to the ballpark, so I try to give a little hospitality to them too.
Talk about the relationship that you have with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Without them, you don't have an association, but without you don't have coaches unified. I know you talk about rule changes. I know TV has been brought up a couple of times about broadcasting games, and this year we broadcast 12 high school games, as you're aware of. Talk about the association and how is that relationship?
Well, every 2 years we make presentations we make proposals to try to make our game better, put things in place. We did that this year with several proposals, and unfortunately, the one that we wanted did not get passed. It was lengthening the season for a week, and we had really good support on that, but the board of directors decided that they didn't want to delve into that this year. But generally, we spend a lot of time dialoguing with the IHSA, and the goal is to promote our sport. Try to find rules, try to find strategies, try to find, like this event down here, Randy Lewandowski and his crew do an outstanding job, and Randy loves having us down. Great guy. This is a perfect venue to end the season in.
Yeah, you talk about baseball, and a lot of people think that baseball is dying, but we think high school baseball has really grown the last couple of years. Your thoughts of that you don't see teams dropping out, you see more teams actually added.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams come in. Some of the different schools come into 1A, or in some cases they've come into 2A and 3A, but there have been a lot more schools added. We worry about participation too. We want our rules to reflect the opportunity for our coaches to work with our kids. So participation, not only during the season, but in the off season where our coaches can help their kids grow, is really something we want to focus on too.
Talk a little bit about the All-Star Game. I know it's almost a week-long event. It's up in your neck of the woods, up in Huntington. We broadcast those games last year. We're going to come back next year. Something didn't work out for us and the association. But talk a little bit about that.
I just wrote a press release and gave it to the mayor in Huntington because he wanted something for his newsletter. It's really turning into a week-long event. We started on Wednesday with a futures game. We have underclassmen come in, 65 of the better players in Indiana. We do a showcase, and we play a couple games. They'll get a tour of the campus. Going to get a little Chick-fil-A for lunch. And
can't beat that.
Can't beat that. And then Friday, we have they come and register. They're staying in the dorms this weekend. They work out, which is all free to the public to come see that. We have a banquet Friday night where we name the Indiana High School Baseball Player of the Year. We honor the All-Stars. Saturday we play a doubleheader, and then Sunday we play a single game in the high school uniforms, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You see some really neat uniforms, and you see some ones that are like, holy Toledo, where'd that come from?
Yeah. Well, last year's, I think the best thing I thought last year was we got to do the game, and I got to do the recording around the facility. Mm-hmm. And my friends from Evansville, the Evansville coaches go, hey, got an idea. Why don't you go up to the water slide and announce from up there? And they wouldn't let me in the water slide, but it's a fun whole entire weekend is a fun weekend, not only for those kids, but for fans who are in the Huntington area or coming up from Indianapolis. It's worthwhile to see these kids because some of these kids will be professional athletes and have really shined in college. I know 8 or 9 of those kids who played in that game last year are now playing Division I baseball all around the country.
Well, we got several kids that went to IU a couple years ago and basically had formed part of their pitching staff. I was watching A&M play the other night, and Hayden Schott from Culver Military transferred from Columbia. He was on the North team in South Bend, and there's going to be several major leaguers that play in this game. It happens every year. You know, you get the guys, the old school guys like the Drew Storns and the Lance Lynn's and people like that, but you get the new school guys like Max Clark and some of these guys that, you know, are players of the year and just really good Indiana has a lot of high school talent.
Talk a little bit about that talent because you see it. Because also you're affiliated with some of the colleges around. We're involved with the HCAC, Brian, as you know, and we cover a lot of their games of the week and cover the championships. This is, I think, our third or fourth year covering the championship. Our numbers have grown tremendously of those people watching those games. So talk about the coaches. What do they talk about? What you guys do here in Indiana?
Well, we are able to get Butch Thompson just came in from Auburn last year to speak at our clinic, SEC coach. And a lot of these, and he had Cameron Tilley went down there from Castle the year before. We are able to get some of these coaches to come in to speak now because they'll tell us that Indiana has a lot of good talent. And they want to come and meet our coaches. They want to come and be a part of our clinic. They want to come and recruit our kids. But anything you know, Keith, is built on relationships. So these coaches can speak at our clinic or come to some of our showcases and things like that. They get to know the coaches, get to know the kids. And there's just a lot of kids in Indiana that are going to be really, really good players, have been, will be, and will continue to be.
Yeah, we're going to take a break here in just a second. Brian will be with us in segment 2 as well. But you look at the All-Star games, still have been selected. Let's walk through that when we come back, the selection, and then talk about the futures games because those are young kids that are freshmen and sophomores, the shining stars. And then we're going to get you a pick on tonight's games on Game 1 and Game 2 as well. I know you got a lot of coaches that are involved in those, but we're going to put you on the spot.
All right.
So if you stayed in traffic for 45 minutes, you can stay with about 3 minutes for a commercial break. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
Back on here. We're back on here. You know, we're trying to get a hold of a couple of people here. Brian Abbott is with me. He is the director of the Baseball Coaches Association. How long have you been doing that? 3 years now? This your third year?
No, I took over for Bill in 2012, maybe.
Oh, okay.
This is my 12th year of doing this.
And Brian, Mike Harmon just walked in. He just shook his head. 12 years. Talk about
that makes us all feel older, Keith.
Yeah.
That's all.
But the association itself is pretty solid, and your group. Talk a little about your group, about your coaches.
Well, first of all, I have an excellent council. Guys, those guys do a lot of the work. When it comes to the futures game you're talking about, we gather names every year at the state clinic, and we'll have 400 or 500 names on a list. They'll whittle it down a little bit to some of the better juniors, sophomores. You know, we haven't really put a lot of freshmen in there yet. We've kind of tried to stay away from that. But we'll put that down to get about 65 kids that come up and play in 4 different, you know, they have 4 different teams, and it really goes well. There's a lot of talent there. And we're finding more and more, it's not a prerequisite to play in that game to be an all-star, but we're finding more and more of those kids end up on the all-star team because I think we're doing a really good job of getting really good talent to the Futures game.
Kids like it too because it's a nice long weekend for them. They can just unwind. They play against each other.
Mhm.
It's like beating each other up all years, and all of a sudden now you're on the same team. I know last year a couple kids had pitching duels, and all of a sudden they're on the same pitching staff, cheering for each other on to win because everybody wants to win that Sunday senior bat game.
Yeah, it's a good. The wooden bat really shows you who can hit and who can't because they're unforgiving and they will break if you don't do it right.
They will break, and you've proven that. So tell people how they can get tickets, how they can be involved. If there's things that maybe you need as an association, how do they contact you to get all that?
Well, first of all, my number's on the website and it's on a lot of different places on social media, so they're welcome to call me at any time. I don't have a problem with that. But
he will return your call. By the way,
I do return calls, and I try to operate under a 24-hour rule when at all possible. But it'll be on our website. We've got a brand new website. We've got it up and running, and we'll be updating that throughout the week. You can buy tickets for the games online. You can buy it for the banquet online. The workouts Friday are free, and the Futures game is free. But the games on Saturday and Sunday, we do charge $5 each day.
It's worth it.
It's
worth the price of admission.
Oh yeah,
and you're going to miss it on IndianaSRN this year, but that's okay. We'll be back next year, even better. But Brian, thanks for spending your time. Now you have to make your pick. Bar Reeve, Lafayette CC. Who's going to win this one?
Bar Reeve.
Okay, Buff and New Perry.
Mark Schelling just became our third vice president, so I got to go with Mark.
You just took a wheezy way out. Coming with us now, Brian Lewis will be with us in just a couple minutes. You're watching The Baseball Show on IndianaSRN.
To the game, we've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Phil does look awesome because, I cut the grass today. I did the lines today. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors for the 57th Annual State Finals show right here on IndianaSRN. We want to thank Aspen Creek Grill. Great place to go eat. Also, we want to thank... It's there somewhere. Morales Group as well, Bertner Electric, also Reynolds Farm Equipment, and many more for helping us with the broadcast today. The 57th Annual Baseball State Tournament. With us now is Brian Lewis, who was the AD many times and been here as an AD, now as a assistant commissioner. A lot of fun being the commissioner other than the pressure of being the AD to get everybody, the rooms settled and all those things. What's harder this week, relax with me, because I know I'm hard to work with because you talked with me a couple of times this week, or game day?
It's a different excitement. At the end of the day, we're celebrating 4 state championship games in the next 2 days. It's a phenomenal weekend, and been on both sides of it, and it's exciting as an athletic director to be able to see your community get behind your team and your school and to show up and celebrate those kids. And at the same time, it was nice to go to work today, show up at the field, get to talk to you for a little bit, and watch some good baseball without any investment in any particular team. So either way, it's the IHSA state finals. It's a great weekend.
And you're out of traffic.
Finally out of traffic.
If you're tuning in and what are they complaining about the traffic in Indiana? I think 465, 65, 31, 70, and 37 are all under construction, and you can't get A to B without doing the detours.
There's a lot of detours running through downtown Indianapolis
but
right now.
But you can go to Jasper. Once you get to 37 or 69 heading south, you can get to Jasper. Jasper's hometown. Talk a little bit about hometown and how you grew up really being in the association from birth, right?
Absolutely. And Jasper's a great community, great sports community, big baseball community. And so it was great place to grow up. I had a chance to go back there as the athletic director for 3 years and start raising my family in Jasper. It's a great community for that. But, you know, it's been exciting to take the next step and to move up to Indianapolis. And, you know, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for a great weekend of baseball. But, you know, Jasper's one of those special places, great place to live, great community. Fan support is fantastic. The administration is great. And Phil Kendall was the athletic director that followed me, and he's doing a phenomenal job carrying on that tradition.
And he has a great relationship with IndianaSRN, just like you did. And we appreciate that because we get to go to Jasper. In fact, we get to do a football game down there this year, brand new stadium. Yeah, how is the new football field?
I got to see it.
Is it the Kevin? It's not the Brian Lewis.
It is not the Brian Lewis Field. It's Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium and Joe Roletter Field. But the upgrades they're making to the stadium is phenomenal. They say it is. They've opened up that for track season yet this spring, and bleachers and press box and things are in place. So I think it'll be ready to roll.
All we need is internet connection. That's all we need.
You'll be in good shape.
We'll have over 1,500 people watch that thing. That's the crazy thing.
Absolutely.
People watch that. Your role as an assistant commissioner, you understand roles, but one of the things that your responsibility is maintaining officials and working with the officials. And you know me as a basketball official, but more as a broadcaster. But these officials are important not only to me, but to the whole entire association. You got guys working tonight that earned this spot. But talk about the officials and how important these guys are tonight.
Well, these weekends at the state finals is always a celebration of what they've been able to accomplish and what they've earned. People forget that as teams try to advance through the tournament, officials do the same thing. And so they put a lot of hard work, time, and effort to go to meetings, learn their craft, get out there and do games. And the lucky ones get to experience a game like this on Victory Field. But the part that we always talk to them about is it's just as important for them to be doing the freshman games, the JV games, the varsity games throughout the year. We have just over 6,000 officials across the board, and they're doing hundreds of games in many scenarios throughout the year, and they're taking time away from their own families to give our kids the opportunity to play. Without them, it's glorified recess.
Not only the officials tonight, but then you have ex-officials, or Mark Maxwell is one that comes to mind. Mark taught me a lot about officiating and talk about growing up as an official. But you have those people behind the scenes helping our young officials. How is that number? Have you seen that number decline that we need? I know we still need more. Are we making some progress in that?
I think we're bridging the gap a little bit. Across the country, the numbers are starting to recover. I don't think we really fell off as much as a lot of states across the country, and that's a credit to our officials and the officials you're talking about, Mark Maxwell, those that have retired, that reach out and are continually trying to mentor new officials. We have our ref reps program that I just got information that we will have officiating 101 in over 115 high schools across the state starting next fall. And that's where high school kids can get a high school credit. They can get their officiating license to officiate below the high school level, but then as they graduate, they roll right into fully licensed official.
You say that, it's very interesting. I'm involved in the Christian State basketball tournament, and this year we had 3 young men who, under their mentor, put them on a tournament game to get them tournament ready. Now the atmosphere might be different, but they're refereeing underneath a crowd of 300 people, which for the Christian school, that's a big number. I know we're going to have a lot more than that, but those kids understood that. And talking to those kids at the end of the game, what is the experience? And they go, I have no idea how it was until a crowd started booing me or cheering me. But I knew I needed to stay in the program. That is very good. I wish I had that when I started, because we started as freshman officials. You moved on and you just took your lumps. But the evaluations and all those things have helped.
It's been excellent to get them out on the floor at a young age. They still don't know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
It's easy for somebody to play a game. It's kind of like those that play a college sport. They think everybody can coach it. It's the same thing with officiating. I played basketball. I played football. I can officiate it. So this has given kids an appreciation at a very young age, and hopefully because of the great mentors and teachers that we have, we can keep them in the craft and continue as they get older and then help our officiating numbers.
How does people getting involved in not only to officiating association, but let's just say they don't want to join an association, there are still ways they can get into officiating?
They can still go to ihsa.org and click on Become an Official, and all the information is there, and we've tried to make that process as easy as possible to get somebody signed up. And then we do a lot of things on the front end to be able to connect them to a mentor or an experienced official that can help them throughout the entire process. We had a gap there for a while where we'd get them registered and then we would assign somebody, and we're trying to get them in touch with somebody on the front side that can help them through the entire process, get them ready to take the exam, get them licensed, get them equipment, and then get them assigned to contests.
Our buddy Bo Borowski, good friend of ours, I know we're promoting and helping him as well, getting them involved. One of the things that he has shared with, because of the media the way it is now, it's very good to get those officials understanding the game and see all the aspect. What is the hardest thing that to teach a young official the whole entire aspect about the game? Because it's not really about them, it's about the kids that they're officiating.
We have a lot of people that are really, really good about rule knowledge, how to officiate a contest from that standpoint. The personal interaction, the game management, listening to coaches, being able to interact and being able to put out the noise that comes from the crowd and realize that it's not personal. It's like anybody that answers the phone first in an office. Usually the person's not upset with them. They're just upset and they happen to be the one that hears it. And it's the same thing with officials. So the more experience we can get them in dealing with people, personal interaction, and that comes from those experienced officials that have been out for a long time.
Yep. We appreciate what you do. Final question. You ready for this? Well, actually, I have two left. What's your favorite part of the spring season other than being on this great show?
Spring season is to be honest, we're getting towards the end of the school year. No, it's we have a lot of great.
You won't see me again for fall, right?
we have a lot of great tournaments here in the spring. We just spent track down at IU.
Right.
We spent softball at Purdue, and now at Victory Field. This is an exciting time to celebrate education-based athletics.
Lafayette CC taking their warm-ups and finishing up with that. As we look at the program, the games start at 5:37. Don't miss any action. You can catch it right after our ball game. Just go on to the ISSA TV network, hit that button, and you're right there. One game for $15, 2 games for $20. Recommend you buy the whole entire package. Final question. Ready for this? Final question. What's your favorite concession stand item at the Vic?
That's easy. Nachos.
There you go. What can you say? Well, thank you, Brian. Appreciate you spending time with us. Hopefully you go down to Jasper, see Evansville Memorial Jasper game. That'd be a good game. Maybe we can get you in the booth.
We might have to make that on the schedule.
We just moved Mike Ferrari out of the way. You could just do play-by-play.
I don't know about that. But I may come on for a minute.
No, Mike won't take his seat off.
No.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Sean Crawl and Mike Harmon will be breaking down the game 1 and game 2. Do you want to make a pick or not?
No, I'm neutral.
Okay.
I pick the officials.
Yeah, fine. I do, and we got good guys tonight too.
We do.
Take a break. We'll be back after this.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Burtner Electric Incorporated is fully licensed and bonded electrical contractor for your protection. Our electricians are available 24/7 for service calls and specialize in electrical service and storm damage repair. For more information, give us a call today.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort, fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
We are back here on the baseball show as we get set for the 1A state championship, Lafayette Central Catholic versus Bar Reeve Vikings. I am Sean Kroll. Joining me now is Mike Harmon, coach of the the Bishop Chatard Trojans. Mike, 1A, a lot of people will go, oh, it's just 1A. These are good ball clubs. Tim Bourdonnais done a great job bringing Lafayette Central Catholic here for years and years. Bar Reeve plays in a tough southern region. What do you expect kind of between these two teams?
Oh, absolutely. Both rematch from last year. Both made it back here, back-to-back. Yes, we play Coach Bourdonnais almost every year. We played him for about 15 straight years, and when our conference came up, we had to move some games around, but we played them this spring. They were always solid, fundamentally sound, not going to beat themselves, obviously. And Tim does a good job with them, and certainly they'll play one run at a time if they need to, and it's been very successful for them. Bar Reeve if you look at the Bar Reeve pitching staff totals a staff ERA of 1.6. I mean, you might get a kid once in a while that has an ERA under 2. Their team ERA under 1.6. No surprise. I think last year was a 1-0 victory for Lafayette Catholic. I would expect a very well-played, well-pitched game both ways. And certainly, yes, like you said, both teams are used to being here. And Lafayette Catholic, I think, with the win, goes for the state record in team wins.
I believe that is true as well. You know, again, with Bar Reeve, you talk about the pitching, that semi-state opener against Shakamak being a 1-0 game, those two just seem to go at it time after time. And you know, pitchers duel like we see all the time. Maybe the wind's blowing in or whatever. You know, the quality of baseball down there with the Jaspers and the Bar Reeves and the Shakamak is really good baseball down in the South.
Oh, solid. And they've outscored their opponents 31-2 in 5 tournament games, had 4 straight shutouts, and then beat Indianapolis Lutheran 9-2. Obviously, pitching's going to keep you in a lot of games, and when you only have to score a couple runs, that's a good recipe to try to get a W. But absolutely. I mean, it's baseball's baseball, and 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, you get a pitcher at any level can dominate, and it's all the teams here this weekend obviously are going to play solid defense and get some timely hits and not beat themselves.
So in this first game, do you expect there to be a lot of small ball, moving runners over? Any chance we can get to manufacture a run? We're going to do that because we don't know if we'll get many chances.
Absolutely. I know for sure, like I said, by playing Lafayette Catholic every year, Tim Bourdonnais will do that. First inning, he'll play for that first run, and it's been very successful for him, and they'll bunt in normal bunt situations, but that puts pressure on defense. You still got to field it. You still got to throw guys out. But, yeah, I think both teams will probably, with the guys in their lineup that can run, try to swipe a base here or there. And anytime you can get a run in this situation, for sure. But we have not played Bar Reeve, but by playing Lafayette Catholic, I definitely will say they'll play small ball and play for a run any chance they can get.
I think I might have seen that with your Trojan squad, maybe playing Cathedral in a city championship, where you forced them to make plays and they didn't make them, and you ended up beating them?
A couple times we've had some luck that way. But, yeah, you got to put the ball in play and put the pressure on defense, and they're still high school kids, and even though they've made plays the majority of the year, you still want to my team probably gets tired of me saying, they don't have to defend a strikeout. Every team we play can throw the ball around the horn, but you got to put it in play and put some pressure on them, get the runners moving, and you never know what happens.
And neither of these teams really have an advantage over the other of one having been here at Victory Field before and the other not, since they've both been here. That kind of goes off the table, does it not?
Right. That way you're not in awe, and it's a beautiful facility, obviously, but you come down here and you're comfortable with it and you're familiar with it. And certainly Lafayette Catholic seems like they're down here every year, and that's a credit to them and their program. But right, you'll get the butterflies out after pregame and be ready to go. But it's certainly you're not going to get a better venue in the Midwest to play. So.
All right, well, let's jump to 3A then, where we have a foe you are quite familiar with in the Brebeuf Jesuit Braves taking on New Prairie in the second game. Give us kind of some insight on Brebeuf since you've played them 3 times
Sure.
this year.
Yeah, we played them twice in conference, and then we opened up sectional play with them at their place this year in a good game. Got beat 2-1, but it's a solid game, and they're really good. I mean, up and down their lineup, I think 1 through 9 is what every coach tries to get, but usually you find a high school team, there's a couple holes in the lineup, and you pitch around a couple guys and try to get to those guys. I like Brebeuf's lineup 1 through 9. Different guys, seems like each game they maybe get a different hero or a different guy that comes through with a big hit for them. They're pitching solid, been based around 2 guys with Geske, the junior right-hander, and then Fornes, the senior lefty. They've been at the top of their rotation starting, and they get pretty good relief help from a freshman named Frank. We saw both. We saw Geske in sectional. We saw him in the first conference game. We faced Fornes and Frank in the second conference game. But, yeah, they've been pitching well, and like I said, they're getting some timely hits, and they – I don't know if you heard their semi-state game would have down 5-1 with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 7th and get 6 straight base hits.
Wow.
And that's just a credit to, like I said, the kids in their lineup believe in each other, and they know that their job is to get on and get the next guy on. And they got 6 straight hits and put a 5 spot on the board. But I'm not as familiar with New Prairie. Certainly have seen some of their scores and certainly have come through a tough northern part of the playoffs. A big win over Hanover Central in the regional. And Hanover Central had beaten Andrean, and I think a lot of people thought, that's going to be whoever wins that game right out of sectional will be the representation in the north for 3A, and New Prairie had a little bit something to say about that.
I think a lot of people were surprised because, like Lafayette Central Catholic, Andrean seems to be down here all the time. And this is a case where I think New Prairie being down here for the first time, it's a victory field, seeing it, all the people that are going to be here. That may be something the coach has to deal with, whereas Brebeuf has been here before.
Sure. Yeah, New Prairie, and playing, I mean, it's no fault of anyone's, but when you play the second game, you don't necessarily know when the start time's going to be and when warm-up's going to begin. It's almost a benefit to play that first game because here's your set time schedule. But, no, they'll get down here and they'll get situated and probably watch some of this game and try to take it all in that way. But, yeah, at some point once both teams are done taking infield and you meet with the umpires, teams are ready to play, and I would assume both teams will come out ready. But, yeah, Brebeuf's been down here a couple times recently, obviously. New Prairie, and if you look on paper, Sean, it's unbelievable that New Prairie's hitting 330 as a team, Brebeuf hitting 321, pretty similar there. And then you've got a team ERA for Brebeuf 3.11, New Prairie 3.17. So on paper, it's like they're about as even as you could be, and there's a reason they're both here, 25 and 26 wins. But should be another good one. I would think all weekend's going to be really good, but I think we got 2 good ones tonight to kick off the weekend.
Any particular players for those people that are going to hop over to the Champions Network and watch both games or either game? Any particular players maybe to keep an eye on, to look out for that may jump off the field?
Well, I think for Brebeuf, like I said, it's kind of been a different hero for him each time out. But Will Loftus, their catcher's been kind of their nucleus. He's their catcher. Defensively, he kind of keeps the team together. He comes through with some big hits, had a big hit in the semi-state. We had trouble with Reinbold first 2 games in conference, couldn't get him out, and pitched him a little bit better in the sectional game. But Wells, the center fielder, can run a little bit. And again, without playing New Prairie, I don't know as much about them, but as far as Brebeuf, they'll do the same thing. We talked a little bit about Lafayette Catholic playing small ball at times, but Coach Neese and the Braves, they'll take a run, they'll move runners, they'll bunt for a hit, they'll steal some bases. So it's, any chance you got to get people in scoring position. But, yeah, I think, like I said, up and down their lineup, they've been solid, and they'll get solid pitching too with Fornes. I believe will probably get the start with Geske in first relief. But, yeah, those would be the guys for me to look out for on Brebeuf's lineup.
Are you and Coach Bourdonnais in a race to see who can stick around the longest?
I don't know. I just finished year 25, but Tim's seasons have gone a little bit longer than mine. He's down here. He doesn't get to play golf till July probably.
He's got more gray hairs than probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching the game, and you get a new crop of kids each year sometimes, and you get some years you get some guys returning players, and some years it's kind of a lot of new faces. But I enjoy just teaching the game and hopefully coaching the game, and then 25 years gone pretty quick.
But speak on that a little bit. You've coached for 25 years. You've seen how the game of baseball has evolved in the state of Indiana. How do you feel about where it is right now?
It's solid, and there's so many kids that travel ball has really grown, so almost every kid plays travel ball at some level. When travel baseball first kind of came on the scene, it was the Bulls, and the Bulls were the best of the best, and they pulled guys from multi-state areas. Now there's so many teams, which is good. It gives guys a chance to play. It's always tough for me because I think it's, you're coming off of your season, and you've just put 3 and 3.5 months together. Then you go into the travel baseball circuit. Some of these guys play 55, 60 games, but it's good. You can't assume though that the fundamentals and just playing that many games still that the fundamentals and everything's solid. It's probably same thing that basketball coaches run into. Their kids play a lot of AAU and it's a lot of games, but it's like you still that first day of practice break down and start with fundamentals and hope that by playing so many games some of those things have sunk in a little bit. But it's been solid. I haven't seen a whole difference. Analytics has come into play a little bit, but to me, I'm kind of an old school. It's still the same game. You still got to do the right things. You can't walk guys. You can't give up free bases and hit guys and wild pitches and let runners move up that way. And analytics or not, I'm either smart enough or dumb enough to know that that's still the same way the game needs to be played.
Well, speaking of being an old school guy, you've got just real quick, with everything going on in college and all the NIL stuff and all that. How has that changed kids being recruited and them coming to see you and talk to you?
Sure. Yeah. Haven't noticed it as much yet, but they still, a lot of times now, through no fault of anyone's, travel ball and some exposure they get seen in the travel ball tournaments and the summer leagues is as much as them talking to the high school coaches about a kid. And even though we've had them for 4 years or we've had them the whole season, but yeah, there's some big tournaments out there, and if they get exposure, and baseball scouts talk, and they'll say, "Hey, have you seen so and so? Have you seen so and so?" And word gets around that way. But yeah, it's been good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Coach. We appreciate
Sean,
your
thank
time.
You. I appreciate IndianaSRN having us out here tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on downtown right now. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Keith and I will close her out.
Very good. Thank you.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
Back at Vic, Keith Myers with you, and Sean's been here about 57 of these years, haven't you?
I've been here for a few of these, that's for sure.
IndianaSRN, we started this on Radio Network almost 15, 16 years ago, and I know this was something that we wanted to do and bring it to the people. IndianaSRN has since then grown not only on the internet radio, as we still do some games that way, but the media now is video, and now we're almost 8 years old. Let's talk a little bit about what we've done successfully.
We've really been doing video for 8 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Jerry Collins has put up with me that long.
That's a record. No, besides Debbie.
Debbie's be 20 this year, so she's
same for me too.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about as we walk through all those things. Okay, we've been together 5 years, I guess.
5. Okay.
Okay. So, but it seems like 8. But talk a little bit about the atmosphere and how things have changed, and how has the media aspect of this game changed, or have you seen? Because you've seen the behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking specifically. You were talking specifically baseball or just broadcasting in general?
The whole entire high school season.
Oh, it's been really interesting, especially getting a different look at it. Not doing hardly any games at all this year. Kind of taking a step back. It's really interesting. I feel like specialization is much more of a factor now than it ever was before. and Coach Harmon kind of touched on it. When you've got all these travel leagues, it's almost as if kids have to pick their sport at a very young age. And
that age could be 10.
Or younger,
right?
To be completely honest. And that kind of saddens me. Because, when you and I were in high school, going back to the dark ages, like your best athletes played every sport.
Yeah, you're right. But one of the things, if what we did then when we were kids, the exposure that more people would have been seen. I think the one thing I love about what IndianaSRN does is we just don't do the local games. We do 300 games, and we're in a 3-state area. We do the HCAC. We as Paul Neidig talk about, you have been down to Polk Dunk, Indiana, and you've gone up to the luxury penthouse of Indiana basketball. You don't or sports. You don't pick and choose. Wherever they want to go, you go, and that's the cool thing, is seeing the Bar Reeves and the small schools that we've been at, now seeing them getting their just due of not only what we do but other people in the industry.
Oh yeah, and I think that kind of plays into it because there's so much more exposure for these kids.
Right.
They're saying, hey, this could be a route for me to get to where I want to go, whether it's just getting a college scholarship or even going beyond. So I think that the media coverage, through no fault of us, like, people want to see, the grandmas and the grandpas want to see their grandkids play, but
right.
The more exposure kids get, the more feeling they have of, hey, I've got a shot because people can now see me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the audience, this is proven, we have an audience watching this game 90 minutes before game time. They can click on to Indiana, the ISHA TV network, and buy this thing on pay-per-view, 4 games for $20. Great deal. I know you watched the softball state championships along with me last weekend.
Yeah. That was
we were stuck to the glue there.
Yeah.
Or $15 for 1 game. That's the interesting thing. More stuff at IndianaSRN. Next weekend we will do the softball all-star game down in Bloomington, Indiana. Those games are at 10 and noon. On the 25th is the Aspen Creek sports show. This year we're honoring the lacrosse championships. Both Hamilton Southeastern and Carmel coaches will be joining us and congratulate them on their great season. Little League Baseball show is the one that you always do. I already have you penciled in to do that game.
Okay.
That's on sometime in August. The Little League Baseball State Championships we'll be doing this year on the 22nd and 23rd of July. August 22nd is our football preview show. Yes, we're about 62 days away from our football preview show. And
don't say that, because that means school's back in session. I'm not ready.
Here's the cool thing, Sean. This year, for the first time in our history of IndianaSRN, we're doing 5 football games each Friday night, all 9 weeks. So we will bring 45 football games on the network for the high school football. That's not including our soccer schedule and our volleyball schedule. So our schedule is going to be nice and even. And Saturday's college football.
Saturday's pretty good too, yeah.
And then we'll be back here tomorrow with a few people left for the championship game for the 4A state championship game and also the 2A state championship game. So a lot of things in store for you right here on IndianaSRN. If you'd like to hit that donate button, it makes those dollars brings more opportunities for us to bring more content onto the station, and it's all about just one thing. It's all about those kids.
Yes.
And we mean that about that. As Grandma and Grandpa can see their youngin' from as far as Hawaii, Brazil,
Norway.
We've
had Norway, yeah.
And last week we had someone from Italy watching. So
really,
yeah. So
Iceland.
Cool.
Jerry, I think Jerry said.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. Well, they like me. That's what it is. My fan club. Maybe.
The internet's a cool thing, you know.
It is.
Can you imagine what it would have been like to have this?
Shane picked Bar Reeve today, and Shane also picked Babuff.
Coach Bourdonnais.
Okay, so you're going to say Lafayette CC. Yep. Babuff, New Prairie.
Got to go with Babuff.
Okay. Experience?
Yeah.
Okay. New Prairie's got good pitching.
They do.
They have really good pitching. So tomorrow, I know I think you're coming back tomorrow. Maybe not, but let's do it anyway.
Okay.
Providence or Illinois Christian?
I'm going to go with Providence.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, Morrisville.
Morrisville, it's their destiny.
I tell you what, I got corrected.
Yeah.
Eliana?
Ileana.
Eliana.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Illinois is a great state, by the way.
Mooresville and a New Pal game was the best game I've seen all year.
Oh, yeah. That was a rough one because we, again, Rebecca teaches in New Pal, and we know quite a bit of kids that were on that team. It was tough.
Want to thank our sponsors. You ready for this? I'm going to do this by memory.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Let's see. I think.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Morales Group. We want to thank Morales Group. They are the fine folks. Burtner Electric is right there. I think
you're cheating now.
There's Morales and Burtner, and then Aspen Creek.
Aspen Creek's awesome.
Powwow Shrimp, got to get it early.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget our show there. Boilermaker 374. They are great. They've been a great sponsor for us for the last couple of years.
That name, though, Boilermaker.
Yeah, that's why I love them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Got a tip of the hat from somebody. Passion to Care. They are new sponsored, great people we've been working with. And, of course, the fine folks at Pat Cherry Family Insurance. Pat, thank you for all you do, and Clean Slate. And finally, our buddy Coach Piper and Piper Logistics, we thank them for what they have done.
We had to take a detour the other day coming home from somewhere, and Rebecca and I drove by. I'm like, look, that's Piper.
Yeah. Good.
That was kind of cool. She's like, yeah, I recognize that logo.
You watch the sports page?
I check it out from time to time.
Sports page.
Sure.
Troy and his great staff and did a nice little thing. And, of course, the HCAC network and the HCAC people, Jay Jones, and those entire staff. In fact, something new this year for IndianaSRN, we're going to try to do a roundtable for all the SIDs before football season and talk about their football predictions.
That'll be good.
So that should be a lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun. They're good people.
We thank you for the fine folks at the Indianapolis Indians for allowing us to do what we do. The Indiana High School Athletic Association we cannot do this without Heath Shanahan and all they do for us. And when we talked about this brain test, he said, let's do it. Let's get it done. And we want to thank that. Behind the scenes, this guy's worked really hard. Jerry Collins is the best in the business, handling the 1 and 2s, and we want to thank Sticks and Patsy as well tonight doing our camera work. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock as we will be there early to do the pregame show. That show will be about 60 minutes long to get you ready for the state championship games of 2A and 4A. Till then, thank you very much. Again, if you'd like to hit that button, we appreciate that. Oh, also want to thank Reynolds Farm Equipment. Forgot those fine folks. Kyle, thumbs up. Thanks so much. Until tomorrow, God bless. Enjoy the game. Click on now to Indiana High School IHSAA.tv and watch those games.
Please.